Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending good energy, sending blessings to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are talking Love and Marriage Huntsville today, you guys. You guys know why we are here. You're going to know why you are here. We are talking about Destiny, who has a court case today because she is being sued for not paying the rent at Madani Beauty Supply, you guys, and salon lofts and everything else. Before we get into that, though, I just want to make this comparison because it's very ironic, you know, what these celebrities and these reality stars try to do to distract us, to have us, you know, focusing in on other things to be upset and outraged about. Meanwhile, they have real skeletons that are, you know, taking place real time that need to be addressed. And what am I talking about? So the best comparison that I can compare a lot of this cast to is Nicki Minaj. And I say this in terms of how they approach attacking other people and randomly coming for other people on social media, and you have no idea why. And then only to look up that they have an upcoming court date, or they're being sued for something, or they have like some real stuff that's taking place in their own personal life. But they try to distract you by using their friends, using former co-stars of the show on Love and Marriage Huntsville to kind of like throw out there these false allegations about Melody Cherie and her family and everything else. Meanwhile, they've got their own dirty laundry. They've got their own skeletons. So what typically happens, those of you who are not familiar, Nicki Minaj is a female rapper. For several years now, whether it dealt with her brother, who was on trial for that disgusting and deplorable things, as well as her husband, who also has been in and out of court for various things. What would happen is either during that particular week or sometimes the week before, Nicki Minaj out of nowhere would tweet something completely outrageous. She would completely, you know, go in or make a subliminal or direct shot at another female rapper that she doesn't get along with. And it always came out of left field because there was never nothing that was currently happening on that particular day that even warranted that reaction from Nicki Minaj. And so the people who had their Nicki Minaj husband and brother court date spreadsheets, you know, on their computer, pulled up their spreadsheets and they were like, oh, so-and-so has a court date this Friday at 9 a.m. So-and-so has an upcoming court date next Wednesday at 9 a.m. and so on and so forth. So she was trying to get ahead of any talk or any backlash of her, you know, whether it's financially or personally supporting, you know, the actions of her brother or husband or whoever, that basically to get in front of that, she's going to distract you with something else. And to, whether it's getting into another beef with somebody, whether it's getting into another argument with somebody, so that you could be a distraction. So how does this pertain in this situation to Destiny? So as you guys know, everybody was pressed when the Sugar Mama line was launched, you guys. It sold out in 4 hours and everything else. And, you know, somebody who turned out to be Destiny's good friend, you know, thought that they were doing something, thought that they had a copyright violation from a Millimeters fan page that, you know, basically kind of mocked up a Sugar Mama, you know, celebration post and, you know, had like the Paw Patrol or whatever basically saying, hey, we may need to, you know, bring in some reinforcements or whatever as kind of like a key. And, you know, everything completely went left, right? But ultimately, the damage was done, right? The damage was done from both of the Facebook groups that were, you know, just being hateful and vile, as well as this best friend of Destiny's who was, you know, trying to, you know, try to get Melody Cherie in trouble for something that was never going to happen, right? Melody Cherie is always somebody who, you know, dots her I's and crosses her T's, right? So there was never going to be a situation where she was going to be held up for any type of copyright violation or things of that nature, or using somebody else's trademark or whatever without permission and all of those things, right? And all of this to happen and cause all of this conversation and all of these people, of course, to talk about it that covered Love and Marriage Huntsville, only for Destiny herself to be the person who is back in court once again, you guys. All of that behavior, all of that negativity, all of these plots behind the scenes, these, like I said, these group chats, these Facebook groups and everything else, all of these plans behind the scenes to try to find new ways to take down Melody Cherie and her beautiful kids, her beautiful family, her beautiful mother, Van, all of those times to try to do these things, only for it to completely not only backfire and blow up in your face and get exposed as you're connected to all of it, but now you're the person sitting up in court. And you're sitting up in court because you're not paying the rent on Madani because you're never at Madani. I still think it was fan fiction from the start, you guys. I think it was unrealistic. There are plenty of other businesses, other hair beauty supply stores that have been around in Huntsville for years. Why Destiny tried to make it seem like, why she announces herself as a celebrity on flyers, why she tries to, pull a Stormy and say that she's the OG of everything. Like, you are not the invention of salon lofts or having a, beauty supply store, what have you. That none of that is inventive, and there was going to be nothing that was going to be different about yours because you barely were there. The store was barely open. You barely had employees to pay. It was, what were you expecting to happen? I can't, I don't know about you guys, but I can't live in my house with just completely not paying my mortgage, right? I don't know about you, but I can't do that, right? I can't live in my house without paying my mortgage. Those of you who buy or lease vehicles or whatever, and you have a monthly payment, you can't just get away with not paying your vehicle, right? You can't just get away with like missing your car payment, right? Because first what they're going to do is they're going to charge you, and same thing with the houses, they're going to charge you a late fee, right? They're going to charge you a late fee and be like, listen, you're 30 days past due, right? You need to make a payment arrangement, right? And so then they're going to try to come after your credit next, right? So then your credit score is going to go down because they're going to be like, listen, this person can't pay their bills on time, right? And they're going to report it and they're going to call you delinquent, right? And then if you still are not paying and acknowledging, paying rent either at a home or for a car or whatever the case may be, then the next step is potential actions on how they're going to try to take something away from you, right? Potential actions on, whether it is repossessing your vehicle, whether it is, you possibly having to go into foreclosure on your home and your house potentially having to go up for auction for non-payment of everything else or whatever. Like, this is real. Like, this is real life. And for Destiny to be wasting her time on social media, trying to make these plans and trying to, I guess in her way, get it back at Melody Cherie because she's no longer on the show. She no longer can basically use Melody Cherie as a storyline and basically wasted her opportunity by not telling her truth on the show and thought that, being cool with Melody Cherie's ops was going to be the way for her to stay on the show, but that's not how it's going to work because everybody's going to see through that. And, and one of her current co-stars is making that current mistake, right? Because this already has negatively impacted two people in the cast to where they thought by just latching on and making Melody Cherie their storyline and championing behind Letitia and championing behind Martell, that was going to give them clout, that was going to give them fame, that was going to give them fortune, and all it did was it gave them the pink slip and they were not able to film anything this season, right? But see, the truth always comes out about these people, right? Karma is undefeated, right? I do not care what anybody says. Karma is undefeated when it comes to these people who, repeatedly try to put bad things out there, repeatedly waste their time trying to, say and do negative things about somebody in particular. And they've zoned in for Melody Cherie for several seasons now. And, and it doesn't work. It always doesn't work, you guys. And then what ends up happening is all of that negative energy, all of that anger, all of that jealousy, all of that insecurity, all of that built up, it ends up negatively impacting your life in some way, right? And we see Destiny, who came onto the show presenting this image that she had it all, that she was richer than Kimmy, and that she had all of these things, only for her to end the show on her last season with nothing. To be broke, to, be embarrassed that, Melody Cherie had to help her out financially with things, and she thought that because Melody Cherie did that, she could try to like use that against her and try to spin it as something negative when it just made Destiny look ungrateful. And, you know, and then the exposure of her still living at LeBeric's house, even though he had given her a year to get everything sorted out, and she is still there squatting until somebody purchases that home, but lied to the people about, you know, her situation and her living arrangements, lied to the people about her real estate license and everything else still being active, lied to the people, just lied about so many things, right? Lies about Madani being open and now she's being sued for it, right? Lies about being the first person to do beauty supply stores and salon suites and being sued for it, had a court date today. Lied about, you know, so many things, only for the truth to reveal itself eventually, right? So for those people who think that, you know, certain people are just being targeted from the cast, or that there's like a quote-unquote hate drain against certain people against the cast, no. We're just here to expose to the truth. We're just here to get to the bottom of the things, and we're here to question why people took on such negative and malicious acts to try to cover up their own skeletons, only for those skeletons to be exposed when it was all said and done. And now they look like Boo Boo the Fool, right? Because it's not going to be me up in court for nobody, trying to, you know, again, spend my time on social media attacking other people and trying to do these plots to try to quote unquote expose somebody else and drag somebody else and hope that they have, you know, finally the smoking gun that's going to take somebody down, only to take themselves down, you guys. That's very ignorant, right? That's very dumb, and that was very poorly planned, right? And, you know, and the number one thing if you're trying to plan something against somebody is to never show your cards and never have anything linked back to you. And it was just all a shoddy job all the way around. So not surprised that once again, you know, everything that Destiny has tried to do, you know, trying to fight with people, you know, trying to say all these things, trying to threaten people, only for herself to still be back in court and to be sued, right? Along with her co-conspirators, right? So I'm sure those court dates of her other people as well will be coming up momentarily, right? So there is that. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Those of you who have not already, please subscribe to my second channel. I will pin it in the comments. It's also in the description box. Anonymous T Podcast. Again, we're going to talk about more so current events, hard-hitting topics, some real topics, true crimes. We're going to talk about, you know, whatever some of these current scandals that are taking place in the news. A little bit of sports talk here and there. But just some really good topics that I unfortunately will not be able to talk about on this particular channel. But please, those of you who are interested, please subscribe. The content is there. We're uploading videos as we speak on some good stuff. So please tune into that. To my subscribers, to those of you who've been rocking with me, thank you guys so much for once again supporting. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am grateful and appreciative of each and every single one of you. To any new subscribers or to any of you who are tuning in for the very first time, thank you so much for tuning in. Please check out my old content, you guys. You know, we have not been here long, but we've definitely made an impact. And I see, you know, the positivity and, you know, the growth that is taking place with the channel, and it's all because of you guys. Everything is all because of you. You guys make this go. So there is that. So if you haven't already, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.